Hey there. Today I have a special treat. I'm going to be making these 5 different kinds of mushrooms. And on page 267 of the Wicked Healthy Cookbook, I was inspired to make this sauce. And then one thing led to another, and I made all these skewers, this amazing golden rice, fired up the grill, got the wok going, so many different things. I was kind of on a tangent, and I made this incredibly meaty teriyaki skewers. With Frankie by my side, we made a feast. So let's jump right into this. So we're gonna make a teriyaki glaze, and this is inspired by the one in the book, but I'm gonna add some more bits and bobs to it. And as promised from the last video, I made this amazing mushroom broth from a few different kinds of mushrooms, including chicken of the woods that I found on the walk with Frankie. We'll be using that in the glaze. I'll have the full recipe and all the shebang down in the description, so you can make this, one part of it, all of it, whatever your heart desires. This recipe, the glaze here, is all about layering the flavors. So we're going to toast off the spices first, sear the garlic and ginger, then we're going to deglaze it with the mushroom broth that we made. You can also use vegetable broth, you don't have to use the mushroom broth, obviously. Then we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce, some brown sugar for sweetness. Pop in a couple extra bits. I'm going to be adding chilies to this. You don't have to. I'm going to add a little bit of lemongrass. I just want it super flavorful because this is going to be a marinade along with the basting and the dressing. I'm even going to add this jalapeno and a little bit of vinegar. It's super balanced, but you get all these layers of flavors. We're going to thicken it up with a little bit of cornstarch slurry, or corn flour they call it here in the UK. Just enough to make it nice and saucy. Not a brick, just saucy. So you got to be careful with that. Give it a taste throughout the whole thing. This is feeling and tasting good. So I'm going to take it off the heat. I'll strain it, and then I'm going to let it cool down. And then I'll package it up. I'll put it in a jar. And then I'll also put some into a squirt bottle to use as a dressing, and also have it for the next few weeks. So I can add it to whatever I want to do. This sauce is super versatile. Just like a teriyaki sauce. Super nice. Delicious. Goes on anything. Adds extra flavor to any stir-fry veg. Whatever you want. Rice. Speaking of rice, we're popping on to the perfect golden rice here. Always wash your rice and strain it first. Key bit. You gotta wash all that grit and grime off it. Some of the starch. Then I'm doing 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. Putting it in a pot. It's super easy. I add a touch of turmeric for the color, a little bit of salt. Bring it to a boil on a medium-high heat. Lower it to a simmer. Cover it partially. Takes about 10-12 minutes. Very easy to make rice. And now onto the teriyaki skewers. So I'm going to be using lion's mane I grew from a grow kit I got from Marvelous Mushrooms here in the UK. If you're in the US, just have a Google online. Or I know Hi-Fi Mycology sells them. North Spore. There's a whole bunch of different mushroom companies that sell kits, grow kits. So this one, instead of making it into the normal press and sear steaks I do, I'm going to slice it because I'm going to end up skewering this. So this teriyaki skewers, the sauce, and the rice I made the day before. But you can do it same day, you can do it a couple hours ahead of time. So once you start to play with lion's mane, you're going to want to have these as pretty thick cuts, because once they get some liquid into them, the marinade, this glaze, they're going to shrink down a little bit, and they're going to hold that like a sponge. So I want to make sure these are good enough to go on a skewer. So I'll marinate these overnight. Again, you only have to do it for like 20 or 30 minutes, but I didn't have time, and I wanted to get this done and prepped, ready. So next day, I'm on to the different other kinds of amazing mushrooms, and I'm going to be using some brown oyster mushrooms here, the cluster kind. Taking the petals off, leaves, whatever, they're not leaves, but you know, pulling it apart because we're going to be skewering these. I'm just adding a little bit of oil, a good amount of black pepper, and a little touch of salt to this. And we'll let this marinate for a good 20 minutes. Same with the other ones. So each one I'm flavoring differently. Shiitake mushrooms, I'm going to be using sesame oil, a little bit of smoked paprika, touch of salt and pepper. Boom, done. Let that marinate. Oops, forgot. I'm adding a little bit of garlic granulators. Again, the recipe is in the description. A touch of soy sauce. Pull out that umami flavor. Shiitake is super delicious and very distinct in flavor compared to the other mushrooms. The Crimini, or brown mushrooms, also known as baby portobellos. I'm just going to be using a little bit of oil and a good amount, healthy amount of barbecue seasoning. So more of a barbecue flavor mushroom here. And just make sure they're all well seasoned, well coated, using the oil so the seasoning sticks. You don't have to use oil if you don't want. You can use a little bit of agave mixed with water, but you want that seasoning to stick, and it won't stick unless you wet it of some kind. So also did the white button mushrooms with black pepper and 5-spice, and then I'm taking the lion's mane skewers, wringing them out. Look at how much juice comes out of there. Wring it out as best I can. Save the liquid. That liquid I'm going to be making into the baste. So save that aside, and now I have all the mushrooms ready to get skewered. Mushrooms are marinating. We will get on with the veggies. So I got a pot of boiling water going. I'm blanching some Brussels sprouts or Brussels balls. I'm going to also blanch some radishes. I know these aren't common things you put on the grill, but I just want to show that anything can go on the grill and be added flavor there. I'm also going to use some pak choy, some baby bok choy. Super good having the greens in there. Just blanch them quickly in the boiling water. It helps to make sure that they're done, and it also has the texture that I want. So I'm popping outside, gonna light the grill. I'm gonna start off with charcoal and then also wood. I gotta take a second. Frankie and I have been playing ball lately. Her favorite thing is to play with a rugby ball, and now we can play catch together. She's such a cutie. Now the fire's going good. I'll let it cool down a little bit, and while that's happening, I will go and marinate the veggies. So I'm going to marinate the Brussels sprouts with a little bit of sesame oil, a little bit of lemon juice, touch of soy sauce, and a good amount of black pepper. No salt needed for these. And then I'm just going to start skewering. I was a skewering madman. All kinds of things, all the ways. I soaked the skewers. I'm sure you guys know that, soak the wood skewers so they don't burn, even though they end up burning anyways. I took a little bit of thicker skewers to do the teriyaki ones. So these, the lion's mane, just fold in over and over. Just like when I was a kid eating pupa platters with my family on Christmas, having the teriyaki beef skewers. These are just like that, except no animal, only mushroom. And delicious. Super, super delicious. Skewering each one of these took me a minute. It's a good project for the day. Funny thing is, I only had like one other person come over and eat this, so I made a ton of food. We enjoyed a ton of it that day, and then I had some left over for the day after lunch and then dinner afterwards, which was fine by me. And once you get all this mise en place done, you have them all skewered, give yourselves a pat on the back. I made so much that I had to transfer pans, use a larger pan because not everything would fit on that one. With the baste, I'm taking the leftover marinade that I had for the lion's mane. I just whisked in some date syrup, a little bit more oil as a dressing, and some black pepper. I also soaked some applewood wood chips just for added grill effect. So once I went outside, I just popped the grill on, add a little bit of the wood chips, close it, let them burn off a bit, get that smoky flavor in there, grab all the veggies, and now we're out in the garden and we're gonna start the grilling. Here's where all the fun begins. It's a beautiful English gray day today. Perfect for grilling, also perfect for camera work because there's no sun glare. I love sitting over a hot grill. Have these amazing rose bushes that are growing over the fence. The garden's looking good. This smell, amazing. Basting, every time I turned it, I was basting it every few minutes. Close the lid, open the lid. Having fun on the grill. Enjoy your time. What I like to do is just grill everything off, have it on a sheet pan, and then I can reheat it later. But you'll see what we're going to do with these, because this isn't going to be your normal barbecue. We're going to be turning these into some fantastic main dishes. Frankie's being such a cute little sous chef. She deserves a treat. Her and I have so much in common, and food is just one of them. So while these mushrooms are finishing off, I'm gonna just run in the house, grab the pak choy, get that all ready. So all I'm doing is slicing them in half, lathering up my hands with the oil so I can coat each one evenly, pull off the greens so they don't burn. I'll set them aside and use them later. Sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on these, and then out to the grill with them. I'll end up taking off all the mushrooms, and then we'll start with the veggies. One last basting of the mushrooms for good measure, and they look done. They look perfect. They smell delicious. I cannot wait to eat these. We'll remove these from the grill. The grill's still warm enough. I don't have to add any other coals. I'm just going to add the radishes and the Brussels sprouts to it. Now, I didn't do anything with the radishes other than coat them with a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper. Just keep them super simple. Checking out the garden. The tomatoes are coming along well. Everything's looking good. We got that fresh kale, and I got tons of herbs growing. Man, so much is growing. Even the grass is too long. I need to get it cut. So with the Brussels sprouts and the radishes, I kind of lean the skewers up on the side so they don't burn as much, so I can keep basting them and then slow cooking them. Again, not overcooking them. I still want them al dente. I still want them green. I don't like brown veg. I don't like overcooked veg. It's all coming together as I've planned. It's amazing when a plan comes together. While the pak choy finishes up on the grill, I'm just going to pop in and do some cleaning. I like to clean as I go, so when I'm done, I have no more dishes to do. It's one of the things, if you know me, it's one of the things I do all the time. I'm constantly cooking and cleaning. I can't control a lot of things in life, but I can control my surroundings and having them clean. And again, the man get outs. I'm going to be adding some of the man get outs, snow peas, mange to the stir fry at the end here. I'm also adding a little bit of leeks and some baby corn. So 3 extra veg. Really, this is a power veg day. Power mushroom, power veg. I'm really excited about this, and my mouth is watering yet again. So in a separate bowl, I'm adding the snow peas, the baby corn, and a leek sliced with the pak choy. So this is going to be our wok stir fry veg, and I'll set that aside. For the meaty, which we're going to end up doing a fried rice, we're going to do a wicked meaty fried rice. I'm going to add most of the mushrooms to the bowl, not all of them, because I want some as a standout, like the teriyaki skewers and a couple of the other ones. We'll add those to the top on the skewer. But most of these mushrooms I'm just going to give a chop, add to a bowl. I'm going to use the radishes and the Brussels sprouts as well, add these to the bowl, and set aside. So we'll have 2 different bowls, one with veg and the other one more of the meaty mushroom with a couple of the veg. Also making sure to try everything, make sure it's perfect. So as long as each individual thing is great, it's all going to be great together. And then I'm taking some time and check out how meaty these teriyaki skewers are. Super meaty. They pull apart like nothing I've seen before. It's amazing. I should probably do a shot every time I say the word amazing. I'm sick of saying that word. I got to find another one. All the mise en place is ready. Now we're going to get the meaty skewers, glaze them a little bit, add some white and black sesame seeds for show, for color, added protein if you like. And we're just going to pop these in the oven when ready. And now for the moment I've been waiting for. I have all my mise en place in front of me. I fired up the wok, got the golden rice, chop up a couple extra cloves of garlic to mix in there. Once that wok is nice and hot, I add a touch of oil, add the veg right to it, saute that up. Probably takes a good couple minutes, adding some water to steam saute it. It also helps the cooking along. I'm also going to add, so we're going to make this white sauce, and I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon, to a bowl, a little bit of water, make the slurry, and then we're going to add this. When the veggies are about midway done, we'll add the sauce right to this, and it'll make a nice creamy white sauce on the veg. And then just add the veggies to a bowl, quick rinse of the wok, wipe it out, add a little bit more oil, it still should be hot. Adding the veggies and the mushrooms, sauteing these for a minute, and then we're going to add the rice and make a nice, wicked meaty fried rice here. the golden rice. I don't have to season this a lot at all. Each one of these items was seasoned before I added here. So you have all those layers and build up flavors right already done. Okay, remove the fried rice, add it to a bowl. I like to clean the pans while they're hot right away. Makes it super easy clean up. And then we're on to plating dinner. So I'm going to eat this one serving before I even have guests over. And I'm showing for the camera. So plating it up, a little bit of the fried rice, some of the veggies. Look at how vibrant and green these veggies are. And then the wicked meaty fried rice. So good. It came out amazing. Adding a couple of skewers to the top. I have this great lunch right here. Enjoying it thoroughly. Gotta give Frankie some. She likes the mushrooms as well. And the teriyaki skewer, guys, super meaty. If you get a lion's mane, give this a try. All the other mushrooms, amazing as well. But you can't achieve this super meaty, like pull apart tendon, like the closest thing to an animal since I stopped eating animals 7-8 years ago now. This mushroom, it's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it. I hope you do get to try it. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. Appreciate you being here. Have a great week. Happy 4th of July, because I'm going to be posting this on 4th of July. And I hope to see you soon. I'll leave you with a little bit of Frankie playing.